Afternoon, Nisat, from Indonesia. What's time there, Nisat? In your place, in your local time?
He's joining soon, possibly.
I think I drank a lot of coffee before this, so there's a little bit weird, strange feeling in my stomach. So I need to eat oatmeal to stabilize my digestion. How to say pronounce that, teacher? Digestion.
Digested.
Digest. Hi, Eugene. Good afternoon.
Well, let me bring him.
Oh, so it's not open.
Hello, welcome.
Hello. Nice to see you again.
Nice to see you too. You know, the tragic part is, Eugene, last night, it was night here, you had daytime. Now it is morning here, you have daytime.
Yes, yes.
Because of the 8 hours time difference, you know, still you're in this daytime, but we had night and daytime.
Yes, we have 9 hours different.
I think it is 8 hours.
8 hours. Oh.
Your time is 2:32.
3:32 now.
3:32 now. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So in Indonesia, the Eugene time, local time is same in the east country of Indonesia, like Papua New Guinea.
What's the time there?
I'm in the central of Indonesia time. It is 2 p.m. past 33.
So in Indonesia, how many time zones are there?
There are 3 types time in here. In Sumatra and capital city of Indonesia, Jakarta. It is called the west of Indonesia. And the second in my place, that is Central Indonesia time zone. And the third, the last, is the east with the same Asian time. The east of Indonesia time zone.
Nishat says in hospital. Okay. Hopefully everything goes well with you, Nishat.
Yeah, thank you, teacher.
Okay, so welcome. We're going to explain more speaking techniques so that you know all the bits and bytes and all the information. Okay. So once again, welcome, Lecturer Raji. Using.
Thank you, teacher.
So in speaking section, you know, there are 4 criteria that will be assessed. Number 1, fluency and coherence. I believe that I have explained it earlier though, but I'm explaining one more time. You know, fluency, what does it mean? It means when you are talking about a topic without stopping, without limitation, without hesitation, and giving a longer gap. Okay, without giving a longer gap, and also not too fast when you're talking, not too slow, and you are going with the flow. That is what it is always. And also you're speaking step by step and only about the topic, and that is called mostly fluency. You know, sometimes some people have the trend to speak faster. Do not do it. You don't need to speak faster, and you don't need to speak slowly. So what you have to do is you have to go with the normal speed. In IELTS exam, there is 3 seconds gap. If you remember, lecture Raji, I explained to you possibly one more time.
Yes.
So what is a 3 seconds gap? Like I've asked you to describe, say, global warming. Now we started speaking, and global warming is the warming from the globe. Then you stopped 1 second, 2 second, 3 second, and after that you have started speaking again. If you stop more than 3 seconds, then the examiner will assume that you're not a fluent speaker because you have stopped it suddenly. So what you have to do in this case, you have to start speaking before the 3 seconds is gone. Okay, and there are
Okay.
few other criteria of a good speaker. Number one, this one. Number two, using different kinds of vocabulary, like synonyms, antonyms, phrasal verbs, group verbs, phrases, idioms, and possibly you can use sometimes some expressions depending on wherever you are. And the next one is using different kinds of grammar rule and different kinds of grammar range. Okay, and next one is you shouldn't be repetitive. So repetitive means you can't use you shouldn't use, I should say, same word twice. So in that case, you need to use different kinds of synonyms. And next one is try to use your natural way of speaking. Remember that you don't have to have an accent, but you have to have good pronunciation techniques. Okay, so these are some criteria of good speaker. And next one is lexical resources. I'm sure you know that it means synonyms, antonyms, as I've explained now, and grammatical range, different kinds of grammar rules and range, and also accurate grammar. Though many people say that, oh, we don't need grammar. That's really not correct at all, especially when you're sitting for an exam, certificate exam. You get 25%, as you can see, fluency and coherence, 25%, lexical resources, 25%, and the last 25% goes to your pronunciation. And as you go through, we'll explain some pronunciation techniques, basic techniques, so that you can develop your sound. Any other question up to now? Eugene?
No, I have no question.
Okay, so I believe that both of your plan has to sit for the exam and get 6.5. Remember that if you want to get 6.5 or above, you have to have good knowledge about IELTS exam. IELTS exam is not only about learning English and knowing English, it is also knowing the rubrics, okay? The techniques that will bring you, that will attract more marks. Okay, number one technique is when you have been asked a question, please follow the question's pattern. For example, if I ask you, let me see how well you answer, both of you. What do you do, Aji?
Uh, I'm I work as a teacher
Okay, you work as a teacher.
in some university in my country. So the lecture that I deliver it is about soil mechanics. Uh, it's, it's not. How about teacher? Shall I continue, or it is enough for that?
Yeah, that's the question. What do you do? Okay, remember in IELTS exam, for every question, you'll get 20 to 30 seconds time to answer. So you have to complete your answer in this time. Okay, Eugene, same question.
Yes.
What do you do?
What do I do? You mean if I get 6.5 over on IELTS test?
Now, what do you do? Let me see what you answer. What do you do?
What do you do? I'm working in a company as office worker.
Okay.
Yes. Mm, I make out I I make out applicants form on computer on computer to submit Japan customs authorities. Yes, that is my responsibility. Yeah,
Okay.
in my job. Yes.
Great. Good answer, both of you. Remember that in IELTS exam, there is nothing right or wrong, but whether you're following the pattern or the information or not. Okay. Confusing question in IELTS exam. What do you do? What do you do? And what are you doing? Yeah. Remember that.
What are you do? Okay.
These questions are sometimes confusing. What do you do is what is your profession? Okay, like you're a businessman, you are a lecturer, you're a teacher, you are an office worker, or you are a software engineer, you're a doctor. Okay, and do not be limited to one or two words when you're answering an IELTS exam. Rather than elaborate a little bit, like you have said, Eugene, I'm working as an office worker. Okay, it's better to use present perfect continuous in both cases, and for using for AG as well. Like I have been so working as a so for this many years, for 2 years. Say I have been working as an office worker for 2 years, and my office is in Japan. Okay, using your answer.
Okay.
And
Yes.
similarly for AG, I've been working as a teacher for the last 5 years in my university name in Indonesia. Try to give a little bit more information in my country. People might not know where you are from when they're listening to you for the first time.
Yes.
Okay, so it is better to use present perfect rather than present continuous. Like you said, I'm working. That's also correct. But when you're working for a long time, we always use present perfect continuous or present perfect progressive in grammar. Okay,
Okay.
and uh, so this is one of them. Second one is when the question is in present tense, you must answer in present tense. If the question is in past tense, you must answer in past tense, but in some situations you can use present tense too. When the question is in future tense, you must answer in future tense. Say IELTS exam, the examiner will also assess and determine your understanding of tense. And if you remember, last night we discussed conditional sentence, and also there would be a question about conditional situation, hypothetical situation, where you have to demonstrate your understanding about English grammar. Okay, so let's move on a little bit. Like this is one of the common questions come. Can you see the question on the screen?
Yes, I can see that.
Yes, I do.
Would you like to answer it? Let me see. How do you answer?
If you were the PM of your country, what three things would you resolve?
PM stands for Prime Minister.
Wow. Prime Minister.
Mhm.
So in my country, it's kind of like president maybe.
Okay, you can see if you are the president, or you don't have Prime Minister in Indonesia.
Yes, teacher. We have presidential first year election.
In democratic country, Prime Minister is the main person.
Wow.
In some countries, they do not have the concept of Prime Minister, like the USA. US is the president.
We like USA. Yeah, like USA. But
President. In Japan, there is prime minister, right, Eugene?
Yes, you're right. There is prime minister, yeah, in Japan. If you were the prime minister of your country, what three things would you reserve? In my opinion, I would reserve all of them. First, first one, uh, I want I want to resolve some insurance problem.
Insurance.
Yeah, insurance. Yes, healthy insurance problem. Yeah. The or oh, it is so quite difficult.
Go on.
Yes, there are there are a lot of insurance program in Japan, and some insurance programs are not organized. They
Mm-hmm. Then.
they they don't cover some serious 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 disease. I I wanted to if I were a prime minister in Japan, at first I applied to insurance to cover serious insurance such as co- uh, colorectal cancer.
Colorectal cancer. Is it insurance?
Yes, to cover to cover for colorectal.
Yeah, but is it insurance? Colorectal cancer. It looks like a disease.
Yes, yes, it is not covered in Japan. Yes, not covered on insurance program.
Okay, so it is more or less health related problem.
Health, health, health.
Okay, one problem, insurance. What's the second one?
Second one,
Mm-hmm.
I want. Second one is the second problem is I I want I will I wish I could I wish I could relax some all all law which is immigrate in Japan from outside of Japan, yes, to work. Some people are telling some people are telling now some to get visa for work to get visa to get immigrate visa in Japan is hard, is so difficult. Yes.
Okay.
So yes, I want to. I will. Uh, will relax to get visa in Japan. So then I to make it will make more how can I say it became more
Mm-hmm.
it will it will be helpful not only Japanese but also foreigner who are come in who are want to come into Japan who want to come into Japan.
Okay. Well done.
That's, yeah.
Okay.
Third one is
No worries. No worries. We are practicing. All right. Aji, I'm going to give your feedback afterward.
okay.
Aji, if you are the prime minister of your country, what three things would you resolve for your country?
Uh, to be honest, if I were to become prime minister in my country or maybe president that can all rule in my country, the first thing I want to do is about the environment. There are a lot of plastic in our country. How to use plastic is very need to regulate, especially when in the riper. The same in the European country. I never go in the country of Europe, but I hear and I read in some literature that they have clean river, free from the plastic. But it's the opposite side way in my country. So we have to educate the people, and also government have to take the main role to prepare to maintain this.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe uh, to make some policy. And the second one is education. That we release the education is uh, important in some of uh, I mean in yeah I assume that education is very important to develop our country, to develop some country, or I mean maybe from my country. uh, uh, I plan to make education to free to everyone. Maybe it's hard to believe that, but I think it is case. I thought if I remember from the past about past year ago, the education is more expensive than today's. So it is the opposite way that should be. So I plan to make a free et al. This education, so every people can educate, and after uh, uh, people in this country have more knowledge, so I think the countries can be better.
Mm.
And the third is, yeah, I agree with the agent about the insurance. A little bit problem insurance in my country. Maybe I want to tackle because uh, there are some program in my country that we have gained together some money in, so they are pay in each month. We call that BPGS. So everyone to pay every month. So even if not sick, so when there's some of us uh, become a seeker, so on that money we gave to him as a help. But I think there are something regulation that I want to maintain in this about uh, on the I mean in the low level people, it's more to be concerned again. So it can be uh, ha- have the same result in every level. That's a chat. I just more
Okay.
hard to deliver.
All right. Okay. Because you're practicing, don't worry about that. Whatever you have answered, please bear in mind, in every question you'll get 30 to 40 seconds. So you have to tell whatever you like to tell within this time. Remember this pattern, as if you remember, I said to you at the beginning, it is also important to use the pattern when you are responding to a question. So if you are the prime minister of your country, what three things would you resolve for your country? Okay. So remember that when you're answering, because it is a hypothetical situation, you must use this pattern. If I were the prime minister, you will start like this. Remember that always. There is a pattern in every question. Use the pattern. I said at the beginning. Remember, it is very good, you know, technique for you if you use the similar pattern when you're answering. Nishad is back, I believe that. Okay. And also, as I said, you won't get more than 30 to 40 seconds. So the way you're talking, you're elaborating, you don't have to elaborate all these things. We call it make bullet points like number 1, 2, and 3. All right, clear, Eugene and Aji? So you'll start like this. If I were the prime minister, I would resolve these three important things. Number 1, like health insurance, as Eugene says. In health insurance, people can't afford to pay the money for their checkup and treatment. And I'd like to include like colorectal cancer. You need to be specific. Instead of saying insurance, people will not be able to understand. There are many kinds of insurances, like car insurance, health insurance, life insurance, educational insurance, accidental insurance, etc. Then number 2, what was your point for number 2, Eugene? Education, I think.
Education. Yeah.
So I would give free education to all of our people, or maybe our education quality would be high standard comparing other Western countries. Okay, you don't have to elaborate all of them, just highlight the points. Number 3, what is the number 3 you wanted to double up?
Mitigate visa. Mitigate. How can I say to get visa? Yeah,
Mitigate.
and mitigate.
Mitigate of what?
To get working visa.
Oh, I see, immigration rules. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Yes, immigration. Yes.
Okay, so rather than saying working visa, you could just say to change or make flexible the immigration rules in Japan. I know that people do not get any citizenship in Japanese government in Japan. My friend went to complete his PhD program, and he stayed there 10 years. There is no such system that a foreigner would get a Japanese citizenship.
Oh yes.
I know that this thing. So always highlight this rather than going to the details, because you don't have much time, 30 to 40 seconds. So remember that, always bullet point. If I were the prime minister of my country, there are many major problems, but I will consider these 3 problems to be resolved soon. Number 1, this. Number 2, this. Number 3, this. Answer finished. Okay, similarly, Eji, you have to use the same pattern. If I were the prime minister, like you said, education, I would make mandatory. Remember, you have to use this pattern, would. Okay, I would make, because you are the prime minister. Is it clear, both of you, Eugene and Eji?
Yes.
Yes, I got it clearly.
Okay, I remember that though you were having bit difficulties to talk about the topic, there are two reasons I've realized. Number one, possibly you're confused about the grammar pattern. Number two, possibly you don't have enough vocabulary to describe the topic. That's why it will be my suggestion for both of you to be fluent. So, in order to be fluent, you have to speak more. You have to find a speaking partner. Sometimes you can do another thing. You have got mobile phone. Choose a topic, easy topic, and record it there. At least 2 minutes. Like start like the topic like my family, my hobby, okay, environmental pollution, traffic jam, job crisis, immigration problem, as you say. Okay, you choose a topic every week, then you practice a little bit, then you record in your mobile phone and you listen to it afterward. It is one of the proven techniques that when you record your own voice and you listen to it, sometimes you'll be surprised to know and hear, oh, is that my voice? I remember that when I first recorded my voice, I even couldn't understand that. Is it my voice? Oh, it looks like something different. So this is one of the techniques to develop yourself. Okay? And following
Okay.
the question pattern is very important in IELTS exam. And do not change the tense unless it is important. Okay?
Yes.
Okay.
All right. So this is one of the questions in speaking task. And another important matter is that I explained quite a few times. You have to use complex or compound sentence apart from simple sentence if you want to uh, get good marks in IELTS, both writing as well as speaking. Especially if your target is getting more than 6, 6.5 or 7. Okay.
Okay.
And I'm sure if you remember what is compound or complex sentence, do you remember?
Yes. What are you doing? What do you do?
No, these are WH questions.
No.
Okay, the compound sentence concept is that in compound sentence, we bring two ideas or two clauses, sometimes we call, that are independently meaningful. Okay,
Okay.
let me give you an example. Hang on a second. Let me go back. Yeah. So simple example is that in compound sentence we have to use coordinating conjunctions. Do you know what are conjunctions?
Conjunction.
Conjunction is a part of speech grammar. Edgy, lecturer Edgy,
Yes.
do you know what are conjunctions?
Yes, I do, teacher.
Can you please give me an example of conjunction?
Uh,
Yes.
before,
Hmm. Mm-hmm.
uh, for,
Yes. For.
or, and, or,
Mm-hmm.
that,
Right. Yes.
uh,
Uh,
not,
nor. Not is not a conjunction. Nor.
nor.
Okay. There is an acronym for conjunction. We call it fanboys. Have you ever heard this acronym before, Eugene or Edgy?
Mm, I have
Yes,
no idea. What is that? Oh.
Okay. Let me
my
explain.
friend told me about. Yeah.
Your friend has explained you. Okay.
No.
Let me explain one more time what is conjunction, then I'll explain this acronym. In grammar, conjunction is a part of speech. There are 8 kinds of parts of it. Okay. Noun, pronoun, verb, adverb, adjective, conjunction, preposition, and interjection. Conjunction are those words which connect one sentence to another or one subject to another. It's like a breeze. It joins. It's a conjunction means connecting joints, if you elaborate the word. Okay. So fanboys is the acronym for conjunctions like for. F stands for for. A for and, N for nor, B for but, O for or, Y for yet, S for so. Okay, and
Okay.
some of this conjunction, especially for, is also preposition, but it is also works as a conjunction too. So how do you use it? Conjunctions are used once again to connect two different ideas or two different subjects or two different thoughts in one sentence. Let's start with for. Like, why are you sitting for the exam? Here for is preposition, okay? But if I ask you this question to both of you, Eugene and Haji lecturer, like, what's the reason for taking the exam, IELTS exam? Tell me. Yeah, why are you sitting for the IELTS exam, Eugene?
IELTS exam.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, I have no idea.
Okay.
You mean what is most important thing in
No,
on IELTS exam?
no, it is not what is most important thing. It is what is the reason for taking IELTS exam. You're going to sit for the IELTS exam, right?
Yes.
And what is the reason behind it? What
Because I want to go. I aspire to go abroad for work.
you want to go abroad?
Some
Uh-huh.
Yes, some companies are required test score yes, over 6.5 on speaking parts.
Okay. And how about you, Professor Raji, lecturer Raji?
Yes. The reason that I want to take the IELTS exam is for the study abroad.
Okay. Now look at this first conjunction for. If you remember, for can be used in preposition as well as conjunction. So I'm taking the IELTS exam for working abroad. Yeah, that is Eugene's abroad. Look here, for has been used as an conjunction. Okay, or it could be, you can say, as a preposition as well. And because look, there are two sentences here. I'm taking the exam, I'd like to work abroad. Now these two concepts have been connected with this conjunction for. Okay, so this is a compound sentence. All right, is it clear?
Yes.
Both of you?
Yes.
And good example of and is, Ajay, what do you like to have, tea or coffee?
I like drink coffee.
You like drinking coffee. How about you, Eugene?
I like drink orange juice.
Okay, look, you have got two different thoughts. Now, if I want to connect two of your ideas in one sentence, I can say like that, like Ajay likes coffee, but Eugene likes orange juice. Yeah, or you can say this sentence can be used also another way. It can be used with and as well. Ajay likes coffee and Eugene likes orange juice. Okay, so
Okay.
can you see that Ajay likes coffee is a complete sentence, Eugene likes orange juice another complete sentence, but we have connected them with the word but or and.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
all right. So these are some of the examples, how you can create compound sentences when you're talking. And it is really a crucial point for you being an IELTS candidate. Your target is to get good marks in speaking as well as in writing. In that case, you must use complex and compound sentence when your target is getting more than 6 in speaking and writing possibly. Okay, clear, both of you?
Yes. Yes. I
Okay,
got it.
let me
Yes.
let me ask you a simple question so that uh, like this question, when did pandemic start? Let me listen to your answer. Eugene, what's your answer? When did
Yes.
pandemic start?
I'm not sure, but uh, when I watched television for 3 years ago, but the pandemic, the COVID-19 has had going to seriously, and and uh, and how can I say? And government announced pandemic was going to start.
Okay, all right. What's your answer, lecturer Raji?
Yes, I'll try. Uh, I remember it when pandemic start. I have been in the English village to study uh, English language, and that I have been. It took 6 months either, so I have to back home uh, after that because pandemic. So if I can guess, it is about uh, a middle year of 2019.
Okay, all right. Okay, there is nothing wrong for both of your answers. But remember, in IELTS exam or any other conversation, understanding the question is very important. Listening to someone is very important because if if I fail to understand what the speaker is asking or what does the sentence say, there is no way I can answer it correctly. Remember, this question pattern is a past tense. Like when did pandemic start? So yeah, there is nothing wrong for both your answers, but as I said, if you want to get good marks, you must start using the past tense. Okay, and the reason for asking, we have just practiced compound sentence, possibly we could use it. Okay, like if someone said the pandemic started in my country like in March 2020, someone said no, it started December 2019. We are not going to have the dispute when did it started. We are going to check your English capacity, how well you can structure the sentence. In IELTS exam they do the same. They're not going to check whether you're telling truth or not, whether it's the fact or not, but they're going to assess your sentence making capabilities within 1 second. It's a very common question, right? When did pandemic start? And almost everyone knows the answer. So you can use compound sentence like this. Like I remember that one of my students answered like this. It is not until the March 2019 or 2020 when the pandemic started globally. It is a viral disease. It is a serious disease, and no one can find the solutions yet. Look, his answer is complete. Remember that when you're answering once again, focus on the question. What is the grammar? What is it exactly asking? And as I said, you won't get more than 30 to 40 seconds to represent your answer. You have to be prepared to answer within this 30 to 40 seconds. You don't have to talk much. It is called coherence. Relatively, whatever you have been asked, answer it. Do not bring any irrelevant or unnecessary point which is not part of the question. And even if you bring it, it's much unlikely for you that you're going to get good marks. Examiner is not going to consider that part. Okay, clear?
Okay. Thank you.
Yes, I got it.
Okay, and sometimes we use WH questions many times, as you know, when, what, which, where, why, who, whoever, whatever, whichever, how, however. Okay, this is also the part of speaking. All right, and this is one of the most commonly used explanation. People say, I give exam. Remember that we do not give exam. That is incorrect grammar. You can use any of the sit for, sit in, take, write, appear at, appear in, attend. Okay, like, are you planning to sit for the IELTS exam? In the UK, we use mostly sit for. Okay, but in America, they use write most of the cases, or attend. Okay, now
Okay.
Yes.
next tip is that using different kinds of vocab. And hang on a second. Okay, this word and, if you remember, this pronunciation and, we do not pronounce and if the and is in between two words. It should sound like an. But if the and is at the beginning of a sentence or after a comma, we must pronounce it as and. Is it clear, both of you, Eugene and Aji? Let me give you example, like black and blue. It is not black and blue. Similarly, salt and pepper, rice and meat, bee and honey, right and wrong. Can you please practice?
Yes. Black and blue, salt and pepper, rice and meat, bee and honey, right and wrong.
Very good. Aji?
Black and blue, salt and pepper, rice and meat, bee and honey, right and wrong.
Okay, but look at this sentence above. Can you please uh, read these two sentences, Eugene?
Yes. And they lived happily ever after. I like fish and chips.
Okay, very good. Aji?
And they live happily ever after. I like fish and chips.
Okay, remember the first and should be and because it's at the beginning. But the second and is in between two words, which should sound like and rather than and. And they lived happily ever after. I like fish and chips. Very good. So these are the some of the ways we should practice always. But remember that when we are practicing, we need to apply whatever you have learned. Otherwise, our human brain is made in such a way we're going to forget before the end of the day. Okay, in IELTS exam, there are few other things in pronunciation as we go through. This is the one of them. Schwa sound. Okay, in English, in phonetics, you can see this letter E reversely. It's called schwa sound. So, what is the impact of schwa sound? When you're trying to pronounce a word, if there is this symbol, I'm going to show you from the dictionary. Yeah, then it should be a lazy sound or sound that can be ignored or sound that we don't need to pronounce it. Okay,
I got it.
let me show you example. Then I'm going to give more example. Like one of the word is about.
About.
Hang on a moment. Let me share Cambridge Dictionary. Can you see about?
About I can see it.
And this is the sound. Yeah, this is the symbol. These are called phonetic symbol. Okay, phonetic symbol always determines how a word should be pronounced. So look at the British IPA of British pronunciation.
About.
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 American. About. About.
About.
Wow.
Aji,
About.
Yes.
like, hey, what are you talking about?
About.
About.
Make a sentence, both of you. Eugene first, with about.
About.
Make a sentence with this word, about.
What are you talking about?
Very good. Aji,
I'm studying about groundwater.
very good, sir. You see, when the schwa sounds is at the beginning of a word, we must pronounce it softly. But when it is in the middle or at the end, we do not pronounce it at all. Like these words, if you find a word that is at the end, A-L-L-Y, A is always schwa sound. Okay, so what it means? Would you like to pronounce these words? Then I'm going to give you the comparison using of these words.
Basically, physically, logically, technically, globally, internationally.
Okay, Aji,
It's kind of like exactly, basically, physically, logically, technically, globally, internationally.
very good. See, Eugene, did you get the differentiation? Because there is schwa sound, so we have to assume that the A is not there. Okay, so it is not basically, it is basically. It is not physical, it is physically. It is not logically, it is logically. It is not technically, it is technically. It is not globally, it is globally. It is not internationally, it is internationally.
Oh,
Okay, and this
okay, I got it.
is kind of phonetics rule because of the schwa sound. There are hundreds of words like this. If you remember this rule and if you find this word when you're reading or when you're speaking, try to use it. Okay,
Okay.
good. Oh, the time is going quickly. Okay, next amazing pronunciation rule is double consonant rules. So if in a spelling there are similar type of consonant in one word, we do not pronounce both of them. We remove one and we pronounce only one. For example, look at this word. How do you pronounce this name, Eugene?
Abdullah.
Okay, Eji?
Abdullah. Abdullah.
Abdullah, okay. But a native will not say like this because according to the phonetics rule, there should be one L removed. Can you see? Second part I have written. It's if you remove one N, how does it sound like Abdullah?
Abdullah. Oh,
Yes, that is the rule. Similarly, pattern, double T, scattered, innocent, illogical, occupied, literally. Would you like to try, Eugene?
yes. Abdullah. Pattern. Scatter. Innocent. Scatter. Scatter. Scatter.
Scattered, that is D sound. Okay, make sure if there is D or S at the end of the sound, you pronounce it except the end, the D of the end. Yeah, remember that, except that one. We must pronounce it, stressfully. Scattered, occupied,
Occupied. Literally.
literally. Okay, Aji, would you like to try?
Abdullah. Pattern. Scatter. After innocent, logically, occupy, literally.
Very good. Okay, that's pretty cool. Okay, I've given more examples of compound sentence, yeah? Okay, like May likes tea, PK likes coffee, I don't like them. Now, if you're connecting three sentences, even May likes tea, but PK likes coffee, whereas Rahat doesn't like any of them, for example. Okay, hang on a second. Another double consent rule is that it's okay. Okay, can you see these words? Want to, went to, past stop, the email. Can you see these four words? These are examples. Okay. Second rule is, this rule is very, very important and parts of connected speech. So in English, phonetics or pronunciation technique, connected speech is a rule that helps and gives you the idea how you can speak articulately, naturally, the way a native speaks. Connected speech is the one of the most hardest, I should say, technique in learning English. It should be coming at the end, but as we go through, we'll describe and discuss some of them. So look at the sentence words. Want, there is a T at the end, right? And the next word starts with the similar consonant, which is another T, so two. If you find similar pattern, you have to bring these two words together and pronounce it in one go, in one breathing. So the 1 2 becomes 1 2, 1 2.
1 2.
Okay,
Okay.
and it become bus stop. So what happens? One T should be removed, like in 1 2, not want to, not went to, not bus stop, it's bus stop, and not the email, it's the email.
Email.
There are
Oh,
hundreds, I should say thousands of words you'll find almost everywhere when you're reading or when you're speaking. This pattern is always there.
oh. Teacher, you mean double words? One of word will be eliminate.
Letter, not the word. Okay. You see, in want there is T, and to there is T. So instead of want to, it becomes 1 2. Oh, we have got 30 seconds. Okay. And instead of when to, it become when to. Instead of bus stop, it become bus stop. Instead of the email, becomes the email. Okay. Let's finish here. We've got 17 seconds. All right. I'm going to share some of this technique in subscriber chat later, so that you can practice. Thank you very much for joining, both of you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I'll see you soon. Bye.
See you.